So they need to know that it's 1/2 inch seam allowances. So I would put, you don't have to be overkill with it, but you know, if you want a 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. If you are overkill with it, I'm not gonna take away the points. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. But if you don't have a notch someplace where you need a notch, then. And the other thing I might do is instead of a 1/2 inch seam allowance in the back, I might put 3/4, maybe. Just to double check that you guys know the difference between your 1/2 inch and your 3/4 and blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then, so what I suggest you do is practice this, practice it at home so you can get good with it, so you'll know when test time comes, you already know what to do. This one would be the easiest pattern piece. Mark around it and add seam allowances. That's the easiest one. And then, you know, make sure you're following the shape. We're not putting this on O-tag, so it'll be on paper. Please try to make sure that your lines are nice and straight. Don't give me none of that.
I got an idea for the princess themed front.
Notch. We're listening.
When you draw the outline of the front part, and I know it has to be in 2 pieces because it buttons up the front. So you can draw a curved line through it to make the princess line, and then cut it apart and then add the seam allowances.
Yeah, we're gonna cut it apart and then we're gonna add seam allowances.
That sounds easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. All right, so then, you know, make sure you punch hole through, blah, 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 blah. So we got notches, you know, okay, we went 1/2 inch, I mean, we can just notch this puppy up so much here and here and there and there. But normally, if you have one here, you don't need one down there because we already know it's 1/2 inch seam allowance. Everybody good? Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, let's talk about this guy.
Sorry, I need a butter.
All right, so what I'm gonna do to make my life easier, I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Oops, don't make the mistake I almost made. All right, there's another method you can use. But we're gonna, thank you. Well, we're gonna go ahead and do the slash and spread because it's easy.
So when would you use the other method?
Okay. All right, I'll show you just a second. All right, so this is what I like to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can draw lines just straight down. I like to label them 1, 2, 3, 4. Since we have this line going across here, this is what's gonna help us keep it balanced. Let me grab a bigger sheet of paper. So what we wanna figure out is how much.
There's one on the table if you want to borrow that one.
Oh, no, I'll let you keep yours. Okay. And then after we do the sleeve, then the front would be the next one that's a little bit more difficult to do. Yeah, I just like to set these over here. Okay. So you always want to keep everything kind of balanced. So, and when you slashing and spreading, you just can't slash and spread any old kind of way. It has to have some type of method to it. So I'm just gonna do this. Let me see. So what I'm thinking of, I'm gonna L square it right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna continue with that line. So, 1, 2, 3. So here we go. What's the measurement here? 11. So we need how many inches? We want to make it 22?
11.
Okay. So how are we going to break that up?
Mathematicians.
You can even do, let me see. We're going to break it up here, break it up here, break it up there. So, I mean, let's say if we did, let's just make it 12. 4, 8, 12. So 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches.
Oh.
That's a big sleeve.
Yeah, it is.
So we better make it out of charmeuse, something soft. Think about that. So when you're making something and you want to decide how much gathers to put in it, if it's a soft fabric that's just going to drape, you can have the double amount and it's just going to drape. But if you had a stiff fabric like denim, then your sleeve is going to be, so you probably don't want to put that much ease into it. You follow that much design ease into it, design gathers. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're designing, you kind of want to think about that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we go. So now what's going to help me to make sure as I spread that I don't get off track, that, here we go.
I thought you weren't supposed to cut it all the way down.
Okay, so let's talk about that. In this particular case, I'm making it a little bit easier for you because we got gathers at the top and at the bottom.
Oh.
So I didn't want you to have to do gathers at the bottom and figure out how much gathers you want at the top. We're just going to double it, and then whatever it is at the top, it is what it is.
But if you only had gathers on the top or the bottom, then you would leave it.
Yes,
shut.
yeah. Then,
And then
you
you
would
would
do
orient
this.
Yeah.
Okay, and all of this is in your book.
Okay.
Okay, but since we're doing top and bottom. Actually, full disclosure, I am killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Since I'm doing Kansas City Fashion Week, this is going to be one of the designs. Okay, now the other
We'll
thing.
all make our shirt and wear it to your fashion
There
show.
we go.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so 4. Okay. Now, the other thing is this. We need more length as well. Think about it. Our sleeve is just here. We're going to put a bunch of gathers here, a bunch of gathers here. They're just going to look straight if we don't give it enough room to puff and enough room to puff. Now, how much room should that be? I mean, is anybody's guess? I'm thinking, up here, I probably want at least 2 inches, maybe 3. Maybe I need to lengthen this 3 inches. So when I put it on, if I have a fabric that's soft or whatever, but I still want it to puff out like that. What's making it puff out like that? You know, you can put, think about a long strip of tulle or long strip of netting. You take that, you gather that up, you put it inside the sleeve. That makes the outer side of the sleeve puff up over it. Now, if you don't have it, it'll still puff, but not as much as the big puff. So as a designer, you figure out, what I really want to do. So with that being said, you're going to need something here to make it puff. And then down here, do I just want to have the sleeve and just the puff come? Don't I want to have some hanging over the cuff? You know, if I bend my arm, I don't have any problem because I got 3 inches. You know, some people want more. Maybe you want your sleeve to hang down like that and come up and be all dramatic. I don't know. You follow what I'm saying? So I'm going to need to add some length to this. So,
Maybe it would have been easier before you cut it apart to add length.
well, this is the plan. Okay, so if I was going to lay this here like that, right? If I was gonna lay it here like that, which is what I was gonna do, I can go like that, then I can just drop it down here. But I don't wanna just drop it down there because I want some up here too.
So you cut it.
So what I could do, maybe I can add an inch down here, maybe 3 inches up. I need some in the head. So let's talk about that. Let's put some of these fellas back together. Let's play with that. Now, here we go. That's my bicep. So I want some up here. Maybe. Okay, I don't want you guys to have to do too much with that. All right, so here we go. Here's our plan. So, this is what we had at first. Now, let's go ahead and get that bicep line too. So when we add, so I just don't want to give you guys an assignment and just say do this and do that and bang, you just do that. But then when you come to real life, you realize that you should do some other steps. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why we're going to go ahead and give it a bicep line too. Now we can figure out how we want to add our length. I moved that too quickly, but there it is. That's my bicep. Maybe I want to add an inch. Okay, here we go. Now, so this is that, da 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 da. 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. So over here, I know I need to do 2 inches on this side, 2 inches on the other side. Right? Then this is my, so that would go here, that would go there. Right? I need 4 inches over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And move those to this proper. Here and here. But look at that already, it's going to give us some. Y'all see it? Mm-hmm. So I do want to nail this puppy down right here. You're staying and you're staying. You're going to stay and you're going to stay. Now let me go ahead and grab 4 inches over here. 2, 3, 4. So the reason why, you see how this kind of curves in a little bit, and then you see, I don't need that curve in part. I just want it to go straight. Okay, now. So what we can do, okay, that's on the line, so everybody's kind of like on the line. He's getting a little crooked, but we can just fix that. Okay, so let's think about something here. We can get 2 inches easy up here at the top. And then we can add another inch down here at the bottom. So if I'm looking at this, maybe even more, because maybe I want to come up. Ooh, yeah. So when I'm designing my stuff at home or in the studio, man, you should be a fly on the wall. Talking to myself and this is gonna look nice, or no, that's stupid, I don't want it to do that much, blah 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 blah. Okay, now I think I want to just come down straight.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Because I mean it's a big loose sleeve. Why
Doesn't
would
matter.
Right, doesn't matter.
It's not
gonna get
fitting
lost
to
in the
your-
sauce. So just come on down.
Lost in the sauce.
Yeah. And just straight down. So now let's think about, I think this is going to be my top right here. And so sometimes I eyeball. See, I want to keep this curve. because that's matching my front, that's gonna match my back. I wanna keep that curve. And then the rest is just going to go,
Do you want us to make the final shirt out of actual fabric,
muslin.
muslin?
I see why you wanted us to move our notches down on our sleeve.
Yeah.
Now, because when you split it like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And it really and truly, it should kind of be where the curve is. So this curve may be a little high, but here, well, look at that. So, and another reason why I kind of like, when we did our armholes, we want it to match the front. We don't want to have two different shapes. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And then here to here. Okay. We're right at it. Not that one. Okay, so now I'll take my I kind of want this to, I don't want it to have a flat top. I kind of want it to be more like that and then come around. So here we go. Let's see if we can get that. You may have to just, this is going to take some practice. Here, and then drop it down to here. And then, okay, that's good, that's good. Then I'm going to come here. Okay.
Would you ever fold it in half and try to make it more symmetrical in a big sleeve like that?
Okay, so we already know that our curve for the front, I mean, you could fold it in half, but we know our curve for the front is different from our curve from the back. So that's why.
And you're gathering it, so would it get lost in the sauce anyway?
Yeah, it would. Okay, so now the other thing, let's think about. So, where do we want those gathers to stop? You got a lot right here. I'd say, let's make it stop. We can do 4 inches, we can do 3.5. See, we can do 3.5 if we wanted to. So, that, which would mean that you'd have this and then maybe put a notch here. So when you're gathering it, you're gonna gather to there. Okay, so if we wanna do 3.5, or do we wanna do more in the front? Let's see, we kinda want it to be symmetrical. 1, 2, 3.5, it would stop here. So now we know that that notch matches the front. After a while, when you use your slopers a lot, they're gonna look beat up. So we're gonna come here, then here, we working it. Then my next notch is here. And so, and then we can just leave that at the top. And then all of this gets gathered. Make sense? Okay. So,
It's a lot of gather.
yeah, it's gonna be, I might sew it up and bring it in so you guys can see it. I got some fabric.
I have a patterned charmeuse that's just like this really light silky stuff, and it's a deep wine red.
Wine is
Wow.
your color.
Wine is my color. So we doing, Mina's gonna be my intern this summer.
Shut up!
She's smiling now. So we're doing Kansas City Fashion Week, and everybody keeps telling me about Omaha. Omaha is so nice. Their production is so much better. These are some of my other students telling me that. So I said, okay, I maybe I'll try it. So I don't know if it's going to be 2 different lines or if it's going to be similar. So we're going to see. And they say, yeah, Omaha is 4th in the nation as far as fashion shows and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay.
Omaha?
Oh, yeah, Omaha, Nebraska. What? I'm like, yeah, that's what I said. What? But I say quite like that.
I would understand a place like
I
Dallas
think
or
that's
something.
a
but Omaha?
Midwest person ranking stuff.
Maybe so. We're
Like-
going to find out.
So where's LA?
Where do they go when they're all
Francisco.
dressed up in their couture
Exactly.
outfits? Like, let me go walk
Exactly.
through a cornfield.
Exactly.
Couture outfits are probably
Like you can't even get, so there's New York, Chicago, LA, San Francisco,
And-
Houston,
oh.
like,
Yeah, I want, that's what
so I'm
somebody,
at
that's what
5
somebody
and I
said.
haven't got no.
We're gonna see. I'll let you know. I'm really doing it because of a couple of my friends said, okay, you said that. I'm like, okay. All right, let's have a discussion. We do need a middle notch.
Okay,
Why would we put a middle notch in this car? Somebody.
so you got someplace to match all of
Right,
that
and
to.
then we need a middle notch here. So now we know that all of this goes into here, all of that goes into here. And if you have a charmeuse, that's really not a lot. Because it's gonna, it's gonna fall in. Like if I had a leather or denim, then I'm sewing that in and I'm breaking needles and blah, 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 blah. But I think right here is cool. All right, so we're gonna need another notch right here.
So we're gonna have to make sure our muslin fabric is not muslin, but actually
Well, no,
a
you can
charmeuse or
use
something soft.
No, just go ahead because it's really just about doing the pattern and making sure your pieces fit and match up together.
Okay.
Then later on, if you think about designs and you think about how you want it to look and how you want it to fall, then you can do different fabrics. That make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that should be sleeve cuff. This one, sleeve top or sleeve.
When you gather for the cuff, do you have a stopping point other than just the end? Like here we started our gather from here to here. On the
Okay.
cuff. Is it just end to end?
Right, okay, so, let's think about that. So if I have on a cuff, and if I say, okay, an inch over there, an inch over there, then it's nothing here, everything there, I want it to gather, I may go in a half inch or just a little bit. I want to go from end to end because if I held up my arm like this and you see all these gathers over here and something flat there, that doesn't look right to me. So yeah, I would want it to come all the way here. Now, of course, we don't have gathers coming all the way down here. They stop in here, but as a sleeve, to me, that's what I would do. I would probably, so if you wanted to put a notch here and here, that's okay. That would be okay. But we don't want it to be confused. If that was the case, we would have to have a notch here and on both of them. Okay? But the notch that we have here, that can be our point, that where they stop. You can start your gathers right there. You just don't want the gathers to go into the seam allowance.
Is there a gathering indication we should learn, just like notching, that you put on your, do you just do notch?
Yeah, right. Just like on the home sewing patterns, they have those little dots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. No, we don't have.
okay.
We just do notches.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Any questions, comments, concerns?
When we did ours, we balanced up here.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to do that on this big giant one?
No, because it's too big. Right, so it won't matter.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put a notch here, show that it's a half inch. If I do this down here, I necessarily don't have to do it down here, but I can do it down here too, just to make sure. You never know, you might get somebody sewing up your stuff that needs help. Needs all the guidance that they can get. So, notches there, notches there. Notches there, notches there. Half there. Cool. Wow.
That is yummy. That's a decent amount of fabric.
Hey, hey, hey.